What up, Schmoedown Rockers? Alright, Teams Tournament. We are finishing off the final matches in round 2. We'll start from the top, and the controversy that honestly puts a slight asterisk on the family's win, because it wasn't initially their win to begin with. It was Paddington 2's. And it was all because of a question that, if Atchity didn't know it, he wouldn't have been able to know the actual answer and have seen the movie himself. He probably wouldn't have called it out and did what he did. And in fact, because of this, we all want to save the Paddington 2. We feel like they didn't, because of what they've done, and, you know, especially those amongst the Action Army, who are probably grateful that they gave the family that second chance. And they managed to get the win and the W, even though technically the real W truly was Paddington 2. He called the bull crap on the... He'd used his own challenge on their win, mainly because of the question, and he didn't want to do it, mostly because he didn't want to do it to Drew McWeeny, which was, I guess, specifically because he is a professional critic himself, and he doesn't, and is another fellow Schmoedown pro that actually, you know, has proven himself amongst the Hall of Fame, the future Hall of Famer of the Schmoedown itself, in him having won it through above the line. Hopefully, maybe through family he can, but given what we're gonna get, being them against who's the boss, I don't know if that's gonna happen. Maybe revenge will happen because he's got McWeeny, but that's the thing, is the last time the family technically kind of fought at least sort of who's the boss. It was essential, but not really, because it was a botch thing that was just meant to be a sort of a debut in the family in a way, and showing how dominant of a team they could be, and as a setup to lead into storyline wise, whatever, stipulation wise, or at least lead to someone saying what the stipulation was, and that it would be in Houston, the match itself, which was expected, and unfortunately they called it out before they showed the match being set up for it, which was a little silly on them. But anyway, it was a good match, and that wound up being one of the better matches involved in the Civil War. And now the Civil War, the Action Civil War, is finally coming to an even greater head going into the semifinals now, because now the family has won it. So I gotta basically, and it was weird because for a brief moment I'm like, wait, what? But I did hear a controversy, and I'm like, what is the and that was Matt Atchity is a saint. I wouldn't have done that either. You and even Guy said so himself. And now because of this decision you made, you kind of further allowed the family to bust my bracket, but in turn we wind up getting a who's the boss versus the family instead. So that's where the bracket is now, so it would seem. But I'm gonna still have who's the boss going in and winning this thing. Benz himself is kind of, ever since, has been despite the loss especially for someone coming off of the singles tournament, which thank God for him having pulled off the win that he did at Houston, because if not, he wouldn't have been able to pull off the tear he did going into it. Guy might have surprised us. Who knows what would happen there too. But instead, what we wound up getting, but because of Ben's surgery thing, we didn't get the finals immediately, and instead we wound up having it as our opening matchup leading into, and since every match is going to be 5 rounds, it's going to be a long one, spectacular, probably beyond 3 hours. I'd say 5, depending on how the matches go, if some of them go to sudden death. Whoo! It's a possibility, especially if Smasher and Kalinowski go that way. Please, for the love of God, hopefully they bring it even more so in the round 1 matchups. And just cut the tension with a knife there. Oh my God. But anyways, I want to Paddington. I would like to see Paddington 2 still together as a team and make a deal, because they've proven to be too good of a team, and after what they just did, it just seems they've already won over their hearts, and it seems stupid for them not to. And they didn't want an asterisk on their win, but they kind of in turn gave family sort of an asterisk because of this weird stipulation of a challenge in their own win. And there's a potential possibility that it could have turned Giraldi heel if need be, in a way, but in like a very Drew McWeeny way of like, shouldn't have. But if they could have, but I'm glad that's not the case. They've become two likable players. They can't pull a heel thing for them, or at least pull it off as well as they can. I mean, or they're good enough faces as is. But yeah, he's coming for you, Bateman. But anyways, so I had Time Machine making it to the semis. Anyone else? I feel bad for Jay. He's always had this rotten sense. This was the time when he seemed like things were coming around for him. Aside from, Ethan having that thing, but then things didn't go over well for Ethan, and and he's managed to make a slightly better comeback, but since things have gotten better, and to where he's at least able to surpass round 1, but it seems round 2 has not been kind to him, or at least he hasn't been pulling off as good of his year has kind of went not nearly as badly as some other teams have managed to be. I mean, I sometimes feel bad for movie guys because they would have had a good win too, but hell, not as bad as Iggy and the Braids. I'll say that much. And Looney Bin, I did expect beating Self-Righteous Brothers just based off of the fact that they haven't played together since the last tournament. Garth has not been seen since the last tournament, or at least not since the recent singles, since he's come out with, or at least accompanied Whitney the Beauty Cybold in his last singles match in the tournament, going up against Brenda the Kid Meyer, which we knew was a slaughter. It was just set up for like more of a storyline purpose, and we figured Brandon was going to win it, and it just didn't go over well. And Looney Bin, despite their one loss, it was neck and neck, and it just so happened that at that point they didn't have the answer needed, and Loose Cannons got the win. And it's a shame that Loose Cannons, which I wasn't expecting to lose to Crimson Fury, but apparently they did, and it bums me out a little bit more, but Lights of Party didn't have that much of a great year, I guess, and but anyways, but I'm glad for Looney Bin. It seems their end of the year is starting to seem to at least be a bright shine bright, and hopefully they'll still be together coming out of the draft. Their team, besides Paddington 2, two teams that are starting to become beloved because of these round 2 matches here that are leading into that. And I wound up joining the group, not realizing there was a group, and nobody said anything up until recently. If not, I would have just said, screw it, I'd have made one. Even though I've liked them since they started, but I mean, they were up against my dungeon. I had to support them at the time, and I expected them to go over well, because Tom, apparently, or Reedman is his actual last name. They don't go by, and I love the fact they're just going to stick with that mystery, apparently. Is essentially become just as insane as Ethan, and yet alone another, and yet, speaking of, dungeon, Smets, especially with the taste in hoodies. Boys in the Hoodie would be a good name if for some reason Looney Bin doesn't stay as a team. Which would, let's face it, will suck. I will accept, and he needs to be partnered with somebody it's just as good, and it would be a monstrosity of a team. Yes, him and Smets, Boys in the Hoodie, for sure. for sure. Anyway. But yeah, Time Machine, they didn't have a... They at least did well enough to at least force Looney Bin to try to pull the win and pull a nearly higher score, but not nearly as game-winning high as Shazam and Odd Couple. Which is why they saved that for the Friday match, I'm guessing, outside of the fact that it was one of the more highly anticipated ones of the round 2 matchups. And some people had Odd Couple, some people had Shazam. I had Shazam. I expected Shazam. I understood if Odd Couple did win, but given that they were on a tear, but, you know, they had an easy win into only stupid answers, whereas Shazam actually fought through with the movie guys. And they were still calm, collected. It seems that as a team, even more so as a team, both Bibbs and are great together. Even their interests and just as in movie trivia in general have been, the kid have been amazing. And I do still expect them to make it to the semifinals. Though Looney Bin of all teams, I will, you know, you kind of already busted my portion of that bracket. If you're wanting to completely now bust that left side, which no one was going to win on that left side. So, for me, that's fine. Which is why it's going to be, like, we have and lo and behold, Shazam had made it. So now we have our Final Four. Our Final Four for the team's tournament: Shazam, Looney Bin, Who's the Boss, and the Family. And those are going to be our semifinals. There are 2 semifinal matches, and whoever wins those will lead up into Friday's match, which is going to be the finals. Of course, that will lead into going into Spectacular, of who, and the winner of that is the one that is going to basically be facing Founding Fathers for the title going in to Spectacular. Because it's the only thing we haven't solved figured out match-wise, or at least haven't been revealed yet, as this tournament is slowly doing so. Aside from that, we're having these cutscenes that are filling in the gaps. So far, we've had the Kaiser Chronicles, which they've officially ended, the last 2 ones, and it seems Kalinowski had been hiding in an ice cream machine outside of the one theme park, I think it was Universal Studios theme park, and, yeah, it was nice seeing Brienne. Brienne, miss movies. I doubt you watching this, but, in case you are, I must know, what was it exactly did you say to Kaiser? If you don't want to tell me here in the comments section, that's fine. You can tell me, just message me or go through Messenger if you want to or something, and let me know. You may have to look for me a bit, because, learn to accept friend requests. But that's okay. I guess maybe part of it's because some of my stuff does get a little mouthy in places, and you don't want that for your kids. That's fine. It's fine. Probably why Smasher's mom doesn't like me and prefers Cinefanatics, and that's okay. They're more professional. Their sense of humor is a lot more easier to digest, and they're really nice dudes, and they're Dungeon Heads as well. So you still support the dungeon regardless, and I appreciate you for it. And everything your boy Smith does, and I still do. I just hoping I'm getting it, and yes, Smiths, I'm getting that shirt ready, and I'm gonna hopefully at the time of the next one, I'm gonna hopefully pre-tape it. That one hopefully be the day before the spectacular, or at least within hours, hopefully before the Spectacular airs, because that's the only way I'm going to see it. I wish I could go and see all of you there, and it does pain me that I can't be there to see it. I wish I could financially do so. Heck, I had to go downgrade back to the $15 tier on my Patreon, unfortunately, just because I still wanted to have my postcard and still see my live stream. Amongst other benefits you get is the Schmoedown Platinum tier. So, which, if you're not Patreon, go to Patreon today and get it. So, and what other cutscenes were there? I'm trying to think. Why am I blanking on some of them? Well, actually, there was one involving building up to the Looney Bins thing, and that was Why haven't we figured out a smaller deal with WWE to at least work something out to where Bray Wyatt could come on and make a cameo and do like a Firefly, like use your connections with Booker Harloff. I want to see a Firefly Funhouse Looney Bin crossover. I mean, come on. Come on. Those of the Schmoedown that are also wrestling fans beg of you of this. We need this. More so me and Nico, but still. Or at least just the two of us that I know of. But and probably more so other people as well. But still. I mean, come on. Do it. Just do it. Seriously, that'd be awesome. But anyways, my bracket's kind of busted. I'm gonna have to. Yeah, Time Machine didn't make it. It makes me sad. I sad for Jay. And what's he gonna do for his setup? And apparently, Ken's not on the bill somehow. I did it again. Damn it. I'm sorry. Just ignore that. I don't want to start this over again. I've had to because of this. Just, I'll timestamp where not to listen. Maybe for the first time I'm going to have to do an edit. I don't know how that's going to work out, but we'll see. If not, I'll just do a timestamp and say, here, don't listen to me what I say at this point. So, and that's all I'm going to have to say. So, I still, as far as my bets, well, I'm not entirely. My bets involving Shazam versus Looney Bin, I'm still polling for Shazam, as I said. I won't be mad if Looney Bin wins. They've won my heart over. I'll just say I've become a best friend for them, and I feel like Shazam even themselves will want to be best friends. And I love this match. I'm going to love this match when I finally get a chance to see it, since it's already just come out as of the moment of this recording. And yeah. That's where my bracket's at. It's Looney Bin apparently now, since Time Machine. Yeah, that's how busted my bracket is at this moment. I'll settle for Who's the Boss. Though I will settle for Shazam winning. If not, I'd rather have Who's the Boss, as Ben needs the belt more than Shazam, because let's face it, Bibbs, you've yet to use your number one contendership. So, you still have that in your back pocket, so even if you lose, you're good. Just use it before the free-for-all and you'll be fine. Please. Or else it's null and void. Unless you somehow forgotten it, then it's yikes. Though better off you do what, try to play it smart and do it like what Founding Fathers did. In fact, they're the only ones that played it smart, where Dan played it smart and used it wisely, because he knew no matter what, he was going to figure out a way to have a lockdown on that singles title. He's already won it 3 times. He's not worried about it. He's solidified himself as a good singles player. He needed to do something for himself for teams. And he finally was able to pull it off. Using this, and now they're the ones that are going to be defending the belts. Hopefully they do. But just the fact of Who's the Boss winning it, and it's all the Horsemen are together on stage, and we see who's the best of the best amongst the Horsemen, and that entire faction has now finally reached the peak levels. And once again, Who's the Boss is in the Schmoedown Spectacular again, and that's just and they need to have, and if Who's the Boss does win, and all for me, I kind of want to, mainly because Riley hasn't gotten a team's belt, and I want him to kind of etch that off his list. So, and plus, just in case of some reason Bibbs wins that Spectacular against Bateman, Bateman's going to need this victory far more, or at least the thirst will get to him. I hope it doesn't get so far into his head, like what had happened against Shire Wolves in last Spectacular, and what eventually led to the near downfall of Who's the Boss against Odd Couple. Because everyone thought it was Who's the Boss was going to have a lock on it, but let's face it, I think we all wanted Odd Couple and versus Who's the Boss to have been the semifinals anyway, to have been the finals last season anyway. It was a more interesting finals. But yeah, and it's kind of ironic that Odd Couple pulled a knockout in a 3-rounder, and minded losing to the following opponents in the following round in the same, almost slightly in the same vein, similar-ish vein that Who's the Boss beating Harris Brothers and then having lost. But that's a different story, but then again, both are kind of similar because they both were just intense matches in their own rights. Though I will say Odd Couple Shazam, I don't know if I can say it's, given how stacked this, it's weird how 2019 as a year has been interesting, in mostly for music and for the Schmoedown itself, for me. Or at least in general in terms of the music and in general for Schmoedown. A couple bumps here and there, to the point where those bumps are kind of noticeable. Finstyle versus... Burnett was one of those, but that one was kind of more expected. No one was expecting Winston and... that IG match between Winston and them to go over that well, and I think that's why they decided, let's put that as an undercard. That was the smartest thing they did with that match. Yeah. Anyway. But so far, it's tough to say what match of the year was going to be, but... Or at least, in terms of, like, Schmoedown moment of the year, I think Pen 2 versus the Family, that whole ordeal might be the top... deserves a nomination for that, if not the freaking win. I mean, there's other many moments, like Rachel finally getting that belt, that IG belt, was one of them. I think Schmetz getting the belt finally, a spectacular be a moment. Even if it doesn't win, I'd love it to be nominated. Once that happens. It hasn't, but I believe it will. And I hope I haven't been ruining his studying patterns with some of my messages. So, fingers crossed. Because I don't want to be depressed from this, while also having to deal with Christmas party crap at the house. Anyways, we'll see how that goes. But anyways, what did you guys think? Is your bracket still even remotely intact at this point? Who do you have? Who do you have in the semifinals currently? Who do you have going into the finals, and who do you have winning the whole thing and going to face Founding Fathers? And do you have that team beating Founding Fathers at all? If so, leave a comment. If so, like leave a comment below. Let me know all that stuff. Like and follow me through my Facebook page. Links in the description there as well. And you can also find me everywhere else under my actual name and under Random Rock and Roll Riffs and Reviews. All over any Schmoedown group, including and you can also follow me most especially around the Trivia Dungeon. Around the Trivia Dungeon. A Kevin Smets and hashtag Kaiser Crew fan page. Fan group. You can find me there for sure, because I'm definitely very heavily involved. And who knows? Might leave you a gift. Or a gift. Or both. But anyway. And hopefully you'll be at the Spectacular cheering them on for me. And if you do, send the Smasher and Kaiser my best wish, and the rest of the dungeon, including Z-Man. Z-Man included, I guess, if he's even there. He'll probably will be there. I'm hearing about that when it comes to the Schmoecon, at the very least. But I also know that Oyama is, so maybe he'll defend it. But it all depends on if Ben gets it. If Ben gets it, I want Ben to get it. Just to say that he finally conquered. Just to have the catharsis of him conquering it. I can still live with Oyama retaining. It's a two-way street there. But if Bibbs gets it, I mean, good luck, Oyama. But hopefully you can pull it off if you can. Awesome. As well, because who you're going to face is going to be tough. At least you know who to face, and at least they have it at the opening, so you have time to prepare for it. Maybe. And it will be even more interesting if it's more Shazam Who's the Boss, because of the finals we already have for singles going into Spectacular. So, and who has the momentum from the teams tournament finals going into that finals. I'm just saying. But it's going to be a lot for him, for both players, I think, and it might lead to a very interesting but also kind of groveling, sludgier match, possibly, if that is the case. Anyways, I'm done. Well, aside from maybe timestamping and saying a warning of a spoiler of a cutscene that's not from this week, aside from that, or I'm editing that out, I don't know. More likely I'll just timestamp, knowing my luck and my time frame of when I do my stuff and try to upload it. But anyways, what did you guys think? Leave a comment below. Let me know. As always, guys, keep it random, keep it real, keep it rocking. If you smell what the movie trivia Schmoedown, Schmoedown Entertainment Network, and Schmoedown Rocks is cooking.